You think you got some problems, some worries going into 2023. You should be glad you're not Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Oh yeah, they're 40 years old. Their salary last year was roughly $8.2 billion. Their net worth individually is about $80 billion apiece, and they are facing total disaster. It's called GPT-3. If you don't know what GPT-3 is, pick up your phone and say, what is GPT-3?
According to Wikipedia, Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3 is an autoregressive language model that uses deep learning to produce human-like text.
To produce human-like text. Doesn't that sound like Google? You ask Google a question, it gives you an answer. Look into GPT-3 and you'll see why Larry and Sergey are sweating bullets. They could be replaced.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
In 2004, Google went public, and Larry and Sergey built the behemoth that it is today, roughly a $1.1 trillion company. And basically, as I understand it, they've kind of moved on to other things and do their moonshots and whatever, and aren't real active in the company. But I think it is fair to say there is a chance they're going to be replaced. And let me give you some kind of feeling for it. I've been using OpenAI, which is GPT-3, for the last several months as I'm building a new website, or I'm changing our website, Best of Us Investors, to create a free financial planning program that you can go to and answer all the questions that I used to be asked as a financial advisor and get your answers, and then turn around and ask questions and get an immediate response. That's what GPT-3 is. And if you then ask yourself, well, how does that compare to Google? Well, if you go to Google and you ask it a question, you get anywhere from 2,000 to 200,000 possible answers, and you then have to sort through and determine what is exactly you want. Well, with GPT-3, I'm able to ask the question, how do you trade international currency? And it will give me a verbal response. And if in that verbal response I find something that creates another question, I can immediately type in my next question, how does that compare to U.S. currency? And it will give me, again, a typed response. That's beyond what Google can do. I can, in fact, I put together a business plan, and I just kept asking it questions, and it kept giving me more verbal response. I'll take you to the computer and show you kind of how it works. I'm at, as you can see here, chat.openai.com. And down here you can see I typed in, how do you trade international currency? And I hit this here, and you're going to see what it's going to do. To trade international currency, you can use foreign exchange brokers or dealers, or you can trade online through foreign exchange trading platforms. Here are the steps you need to follow to trade international currency. You see what it's doing? It's giving me a detailed one-step, two-step process of exactly how to trade international currency. This is beyond what Google will give me. It then gives me something of a summary, and there you go. So now let's say I ask the question, how does this compare to trading U.S. currency? I hit the arrow. Trading U.S. currency is similar to trading international currency in that you can use foreign exchange brokers and dealers, or you can trade online through the foreign exchange trading platform. The main differences are when you trade U.S. foreign currency, you are only dealing with one currency in the U.S. dollar rather than the currency pair. Do you see how this could make Google obsolete? how it goes through and gives me a total script. Let's say I wanted to do a blog on this whole subject matter. Do you see how the blog could be created right here? Do you see why right now there are high school students who are coming here and writing their term papers? And there's no reason that who's going to catch them? Do you see how this is going to change the world we're in? Let's say you work for a company and your boss says, give me a total analysis of this, this, and this, and put it into a report. Where do you think you're going to go? Remember, it's chat.openai.com. And guess what this costs me? Absolutely nothing. Now, if I put it on a website and I embed it, yeah, there's a charge involved, and I'm dealing with that on the website that I'm building for financial education, so that you'll be able to come and I'll teach you what the difference between a conventional IRA and a Roth IRA and a 401k and a 403b are, and then you may ask a question, is this appropriate for college education? And I'll give it, it will be tied to this, and it'll give you the answer that no, you need a 529 program. This is going to change the world. This is going to change Google. What does this have to do with Google? Well, GPT-3 is a program that has been developed by a company by the name of OpenAI, and they are they're a non-public company. They're still in the form of a startup, and I believe that they're going to be in a position to challenge Google, at least for part of its domain, part of what it has built over the last several years, and it will find a way to monetize itself so as to be a viable entity. I know that from my experience with it, that I've talked to the salespeople. I can put it on my website, teach you something about financial planning. You ask a question, and then it gives you your answer, and I pay a fraction of a cent per word that it puts out. So that's how they'll monetize it. I would suspect they'll figure out a way to bring advertising into it as well. But I see this as a total threat to Sergey and Larry. And so I'm asking myself the question as an investor, and this is something I'm doing regularly. I did it relative to Mark Zuckerberg, and I did it relative to Jeff Bezos, and now I'm doing it relative to Larry and Sergey. Where do they fit in this digital 3.0? Where do they fit in the biggest change that we're going to experience in our lives from all different aspects? Where does Google fit in? My first inclination would be to say Google better buy OpenAI before someone else does, because their domain is being challenged. Would it be a natural addition to Google? Yeah, I think it would. That brings me back to where we are now. We are at a position where these tech stocks are down to their lows, and my contention is they need to go lower. And why is that? Because they need to attract the talent that creates things like GPT-3. If they don't get that information, if they don't master that technology and own that technology, they will become a company of the past. They will become a Sears Roebuck or a Kmart, who used to be the giants of technology. They will become an Eastman Kodak or a Polaroid, who used to be the giants of photography and no longer exist, or at least no longer exist in their current form. So I am sharing this with you, that Google, that Amazon, that Apple, that Microsoft and Facebook are all in jeopardy because of artificial intelligence. Now, I know Google owns DeepMinds, a London company that is way out in front in many aspects of artificial intelligence. But this, what I'm describing to you now, a GPT-3, is the commercial end of it. This is where you and I will get involved. This is where we will find a home and create a company that generates multi-billion dollars worth of advertising revenue because we use it on a daily basis. And that's where Google is being threatened. So, what do? I watch Google very closely. I believe they have to get the talent that is going to be necessary to go into this next step. You need to be watching Google very carefully. I know we were all waiting for their bad earnings report in February, and then we were going to jump in and buy. But I think it's important to understand this world is changing, and it's changing faster than you and I have ever imagined it could. But this new technology is going to come, and it is going to disrupt the world that we know, much as the internet disrupted the world that I knew in my 50s. Okay? Watch this and be aware of what is about to happen.